I just can't imagine the Ravens starting this season at home 0-2, losing to the Raiders.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday. We are, of course, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, and it's also not just a Finish Strong Friday. It's a Picks Friday. It's a Winners Friday. Remember about Finish Strong Friday, okay? We go hard today at work, whatever it is that you guys are trying to get done for your family. Finish the work week strong, so while you're watching college football tomorrow, NFL Sunday, whatever, you feel good about what you accomplished for your career, more importantly, your family this week. We obviously will get to my picks momentarily, but we got some winners to give out. How about Abe Jaruski? He quote posted a post on Twitter. I think it was about Malik Willis at Ross Tucker Pod. I'm at Ross Tucker NFL. The sponsor confirmation email winner is Tommy Kraft. Tommy sent me an email in which he had a receipt. He bought $500 worth of Labatt Blue Light to get ready for the season, I guess. $500. It was epic, and I saw all the cases of Labatt Blue Light. Love it. Shout out, by the way, to all the Bills fans that were turning around when I was in the booth last Sunday and showing me their Labatt Blue Light cans. That was hilarious. YouTube shout out, Marcel Kearns. So Tommy and Abe, email me, ross at rosstucker.com. I'll send you something cool in the mail. Marcel, email me, ross at rosstucker.com. And I'll do a video shout out for whoever you want it for. Speaking of shout outs, how about Joel Higginbotham, Fleming Peterson, Paul Kostanzik, 3 more patrons, patreon.com/RT Media. Love that you guys have access to the private Slack channel with the other Tuckheads, and you also are able to then see all of the even money bets in black and white. That's patreon.com/RT Media. Let's talk about last night's game. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, I'm doing my post-game recap from the booth as Bills fans are chanting MVP, MVP as Josh Allen walks off the field after a dominating performance by the Buffalo Bills. We will start, of course, with the press box food. They had Caesar salad, chicken parm, noodles. I did like the key lime pie at halftime. I'm evidently a key lime pie guy, but I would say C+. Maybe here in Miami. I think the Dolphins fans would have been thrilled with a C+ tonight. It was a horrendous performance by the Dolphins, really both sides of the ball. It starts, though, primarily on offense. 3 interceptions from Tua Tagovailoa. Here's the thing. The first 2, he was throwing the ball to receivers they just got at the end of August in Robbie Chosen and Grant Dubose. So those are kind of understandable, maybe not on the same page. It was the pick 6 from Jamarcus Ingram that ended up really being the difference in the game and put that game away. Meanwhile, defensively, the Dolphins could not slow down the Bills. And it wasn't even one of those games where Josh Allen really had to be the hero and make a lot of impressive plays. It was primarily James Cook who had 1, 2, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and a couple of them were scarily easy against that Dolphins defense. The big news coming out of the game, it's Tua Tagovailoa suffering yet another concussion. This will be something we'll be talking about quite a bit over the next couple weeks. I talked about it on social media during the game at Ross Tucker NFL. I don't think that I would probably ever play football again if I were Tua and knowing what he's been through, but it's not my life, it's his life. He's gonna have some difficult decisions coming up over the next couple weeks. Smirnoff is the perfect vodka for crafting delicious cocktails, easy to make and versatile for any and all fans over 21. Make sure you grab a bottle of Smirnoff and then head over to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka at your local retailer, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. It's the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, Ross, we're going to kick things off. We got the Las Vegas Raiders. They're at the Baltimore Ravens.
So there were a lot of different games this week, like even the Chargers, a bunch of games I could have picked as my larceny lock of the week, Jack, which is presented by Larceny Weeded Bourbon. Lock in a win and seize tonight. Bardstown, Kentucky, 46% alcohol by volume. Think wisely, drink wisely. I'm going with this one. I just can't imagine the Ravens starting this season at home 0-2, losing to the Raiders. I mean, the Ravens just had extra time to prepare, extra time to rest. They were right there against the Chiefs. The Raiders did not look good in the opener out in L.A. This is my lock of the week. The Ravens are not losing this game at home to the Raiders. That is not happening. I would be absolutely stunned. It's my survivor, knockout, whatever you want to call it, pick of the week. Ravens 24, Raiders 13.
Next up, we got a real barn burner. The Los Angeles Chargers. They are at the Carolina Panthers.
Is that sarcasm, Jack? Am I sensing some sarcasm from you?
A little bit.
Listen, there's no way the Panthers can be as bad as they were last week. They're an NFL team with NFL players. There is no way. Now, then again, they did lose their best player by far, Derek Brown, for the season. That's not good. However, they got to be better at home than they were. That was horrendous. The Chargers will still win the game, though. I'm not going to actually pick the Panthers to win the game. I'll give you guys a lock of the week every week, and I'll give you underdogs if I have them, or if any of them are underdogs. But I'm taking the Chargers, who I'm imagining are the favorites in this game. Let's call it, I think the Panthers' defense will be a little bit better. They can't be that bad again. How about 27-17? Marked improvement from the Carolina Panthers.
Next is the team that beat down the Panthers last week, the New Orleans Saints. They're traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys.
Well, I'm glad we talked with Greg about this one yesterday, because this is one of the sneaky best matchups of the week. You know, I had lowered expectations for both of these teams this year, and they kind of blew those expectations out of the water with their week one performance. I don't like that. I feel like the Saints are affected by, the hurricane or tropical storm, and that they had to change their schedule around. That is not conducive to success. Now they got to go on the road against a Cowboys team that looked pretty darn good in Cleveland. I'll take the boys to get it done. I don't think Derek Carr is going to be able to light up the Cowboys like he lit up the Panthers. Let's go Dallas in this one. I think the Saints defense is pretty legit. So I think it's a close game. I'll give the Saints that 23-17. How about them Cowboys?
Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're at the Detroit Lions.
Juicy matchup, right? We're looking at a rematch of what happened last year with that divisional round game after the Bucs had beat the Eagles in the wild card. The Lions, they had to go to overtime. You know, that was a battle for them against the Rams. They were losing with 4 minutes left to a Rams team that was totally beat up. I'll take the Lions to win, but I certainly think it's closer than the betting line, as Steve Fezzik and I both talked about on the Even Money betting podcast on Tuesday's show. Let's go with the Lions to win the game. I don't think the Bucs defense is great. I think there's decent points in this one. How about 24-20 Lions?
Next is the Jeff Saturday Bowl. The Indianapolis Colts are playing the Green Bay Packers.
I love when you, do random guys like that. I totally forgot that Jeff Saturday even played for the Packers until you said that.
He was a Pro Bowler there.
For the Packers?
He was a Pro Bowl. Yeah, his last year he was a Pro Bowler for Green Bay.
Wow. I'd be curious to talk to him about that. I mean, I don't know. I'll be curious to hear if he felt like he played at that high of a level. That I don't even know what Jeff Saturday's doing. He's back doing media stuff, I think, for ESPN maybe? After his brief coaching stint. I think that is what he's doing. I don't know how you take the Packers to win the game. I mean, I'm taking the Colts to win the game. Anthony Richardson was up and down, but I don't think I've ever seen Malik Willis be anything but down. And I certainly don't think that Jordan Love's going to play. That would shock me for a lot of different reasons. Boy, any win that the Packers can get with Malik Willis would be huge. And if they lose them all, they deserve any criticism they get for their backup quarterback situation because this was their decision. This is what they went with. I'll take the Colts. I don't think the Packers score very much. I think the Packers score like 13 points. I think the Colts score 20 to 13 Colts on the road.
Next, the Cleveland Browns. They're at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Whoa. This is a matchup of a couple of teams that really, really could use this win desperately after they both are 0-1. You know, this is one of those games where the team that wins, you're feeling fine about them. Team that loses, they're already 0-2. I think I saw a stat, less than 20% of teams that start 0-2 make the postseason. I don't know how you pick the Browns right now with what we've seen from, Deshaun Watson, with what Greg said about him yesterday, Greg Cosell on Thursday's Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Give me the Jaguars at home. They did a lot of positive things. They win that game if Javon Holland doesn't punch that ball out from Travis Etienne on the goal line. I like the Jags in this one. I don't think there's a lot of points because I think the Browns defense will play, but I don't think the Browns can score a lot of points. How about this one? How about 17-16 Jags at home?
Next big game for fantasy football, San Francisco 49ers are at the Minnesota Vikings.
Why do you say a big game for fantasy football?
Well, the Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey. I feel like that's the biggest story for fantasy players right now is figuring out Christian's health.
Got it. Okay. Aren't they all big games for fantasy football?
I get, but it's just because the injury implications.
Yeah. So, boy, this is an interesting one. I still don't think McCaffrey will play. I mean, if he didn't play Monday night, you'd think they'd be extra cautious and not play him in this one. You know, Sam Darnold, the Vikings quarterback, was with the Niners last year. I'm a little bit tempted to take the Vikings to pull off the upset here. I'm not going to do it, but this is the underdog I've been closest to taking so far in these games here in week 2 in the NFL, just because the Vikings look good. Short week for the Niners. They're on the road. The Vikings tackle did a good job in pass pro. I just still can't do it. I mean, Jordan Addison's banged up. I just can't take the Vikings and Sam Darnold to beat the Niners. But I think it's a close game, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did. I'll go, I'll say 20-17 Niners. I don't think they score a ton of points, but I think 2017, good close game in Minnesota.
Next is Seattle Seahawks. They are at the New England Patriots.
Yeah, this game's not that exciting to me. I don't know. And they both have a win. One of these teams is getting to 2-0, which is pretty darn cool if you think about it, that one of these teams is going to be 2-0 at the end of the week. I mean, look, the Seahawks are a fine team. Seahawks need to win this game. I think they will. Patriots got some good fortune in that game against the Bengals, obviously the Gesicki drop and all that stuff. So Patriots got some good fortune in that game. I think this game is kind of a toss-up. I just think the Seahawks have better players, have better skill, better talent. Give me the Seahawks to win the game. I think it's not a lot of points because the Patriots defense is good and the Patriots offense is bad. So I'll go 19-16. The Seahawks get the win 19-16. You can get a win, by the way, by going to westshorehome.com/Ross and get 0% interest for 48 months plus an extra $500 off a full bath remodel, which they can do in 2 or 3 days. They can give you a new shower in 1 day. A lot of you still have those old bathtubs. That's not good for having to step in and out, especially as we're getting older. I'm a former offensive lineman, but you get into your 50s and 60s. Get rid of that old, whatever it's called, bathtub. Get a new shower or even an entry door. I can't tell you how happy my wife is with our front door and how much nicer it makes the house look. Again, 48 months, 0 interest, plus just you guys, and it really is just you guys, get an extra $500 off. Visit westshorehome.com/Ross to redeem. That's westshorehome.com/Ross. After you do, your wife will be so happy she'll let you drink as many Labatt Blue Lights with friends as you want. Living life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Next, we've got the New York Jets. They're at the Tennessee Titans.
Well, this is tough for the Jets, right? It's a short week, and they're back on the road against a Titans team that absolutely should have won that game. There's no question that you have a blocked punt for a touchdown, and Will Levis, gives the ball to the other team. It just cannot happen. But I'm not taking Will Levis and the Titans to beat the Jets, and the Jets go 0-2. Now, if you're the Titans, you got to think they're going to try to run the ball with Pollard and Spears right down the Jets' throat after what the Niners did. The Jets, though, will load up the box. They'll make Levis beat him. Maybe he can. Maybe he can with some of those receivers that he has. I'll still go, though, Jets 20, Titans 17. Titans defenses look pretty decent against Chicago.
We've got an NFC East battle. The New York Giants, they're going to Washington to face the Commanders.
This is like that game, Jack, where both teams' fan bases are like, we have to win this game. Like, we have to. This is the game that we have to win. If we don't win this game, what game are we going to win? And this is like a battle for the basement, as in not being in the basement of the NFC East. I'm going to take the Commanders. I take the Commanders because they're at home. Take the Commanders because it's Jaden Daniels' debut at home. And I think both these quarterbacks, their legs are a major factor. I don't know, man. To me, this game's like a total toss-up. I could give you either team. In fact, if I wanted to go underdog, I could give you the Giants just to go underdog with you. But I'm going to take the Commanders to win. Ugly game, because that's what these teams you would think would play. 21-20 Commanders.
We've got the battle for St. Louis. The Los Angeles Rams, they're at the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, I like that, Jack. Battle for St. Louis. I like that. Wow. Here I thought I was going to take the Arizona Cardinals and that was going to be my underdog of the week. But they're favored. They're favored by 1, and that's because the Rams are so beat up. Cardinals have to win this game. With the Rams coming in, their O-line is in shambles. No Puka Nacua. The Cardinals, I thought, did a lot of good things against the Buffalo Bills. They have to find a way to win this game. There's no way around it. And I think they will. I think the Cardinals get this done. Sean McVay's kind of had their number, but not this Sunday, not with how beat up they are. Cardinals, I think, score 24 points. I think the Rams only get to 20. 24-20, Arizona.
Pittsburgh Steelers, they are at the Denver Broncos.
Wow, it's so funny because we talk about how tough the Steelers' schedule is, in the second half of the year and blah, 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 blah. And yet, here they are in a situation where they could very easily be 2-0, and I'm going to pick them to do that. With the way they're, I thought their defense looked against Atlanta, I would say that feels like it's highly encouraging for the Steelers. I think Justin Fields will probably be a little bit better in his second game than he was in his first. I think you could probably say the same about Bo Nix, but I like the Steelers to get to 2-0, which is a great start for them on the road in Denver against that rookie quarterback. I think the Steelers defense will get all over Bo Nix. Not a lot of points in this one again. It's an ugly Steelers victory, 17-13 Pittsburgh.
We got the last of the Sunday afternoon slate, the Cincinnati Bengals. They're at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, getting to some of these more juicy matchups here now to finish up our picks for the week. It's so interesting how certain teams, it seems like, have other teams' numbers. And it feels like, listen, the Chiefs have beat the Bengals plenty. But the Bengals, for whatever reason, they play their best against the Chiefs. And I'm tempted to take the Bengals. I think if T. Higgins were healthy, I probably would take the Bengals to bounce back from that disappointing performance. I just can't do it, though. I mean, the Chiefs, obviously, like I said about the Ravens early in the show, Chiefs had extra time to prepare, extra time to rest for this one. The Bengals coming off that game on Sunday, and it's a home game for the Chiefs. Start out back-to-back home games. I'll take Kansas City to get it done. I think it's a fun game, though. The Bengals are not going to get blown out. They always play the Chiefs tough. I think it's, for whatever reason, it feels like Joe Burrow has a good feel for what Spagnuolo does. Let's go a bunch of field goals. 26-23, the Chiefs find a way to still beat the Bengals in this one.
Sunday Night Football, the Chicago Bears. They are facing Houston Texans, battle of two young top quarterbacks.
Yes. Yeah, that's a cool pick by the NFL schedulers to have that for the Sunday night game. I'm looking forward to it. C.J. Stroud, it feels like, doesn't get a chance to play a lot of primetime games, right, where everybody's watching. And then, obviously same on some level for Caleb Williams and the Bears. Obviously, it's only second game, but it's smart for the NFL, especially early in the season, to have a showcase game for their number one overall pick. I love it. I mean, I'm obviously going to take the Texans to win based on what we saw from these teams in week one. I mean, Texans ran it very effectively. You heard Joe Mixon, Greg talk about Joe Mixon, how spry he looked. He absolutely did, I thought, in that game. So I like for sure what we've seen from the Houston Texans. The Bears, I don't think they're going to get a defensive touchdown and a punt return touchdown again. Bears might not be able to keep this one close. I think this ends up being 24-13. I think the Bears will score a little bit more than that. 24-16. The Texans get a win by 8 points over the Bears on Sunday Night Football.
And we'll wrap things up with Monday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons, they're traveling to Philadelphia, playing the Eagles.
How many years in a row has the Eagles home opener been a Kirk Cousins primetime game? I mean, it's crazy. It feels like it was the Vikings the last 2 years, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Now it's the Falcons. And I think the Falcons are better than they showed against the Steelers. But this Kirk Cousins health thing is really concerning. I mean, not under center, all but one snap. What people are saying about the lack of the knee bend and, not getting zip on his passes. This is the wrong place to go, I would say, in Philadelphia on a Monday night game, home opener. Those people are going to be going crazy. Eagles are very talented. A lot of their new players play. I mean, the Eagles beat the Packers with 3 horrific turnovers involving Jalen Hurts. I don't think that happens again. I like the Eagles in this game. I think the Falcons maybe score like 17. I think the Eagles score 27. 27-17. Eagles actually end up winning this game by double digits, which, by the way, totally means that they won't. Other than that, have a terrific weekend, everybody. Hopefully a bunch of you can watch Colorado State on CBS tomorrow night. I love when you take a screenshot of me on camera on your TV at the start of the game and then send it to me on social media. Please do that. At Ross Tucker NFL. I love when you guys do that. It's awesome. So I got Colorado State, Saturday night, CBS, and then Sunday, I'm just kind of like you guys, watching the red zone and all the games all day, which I love as well. I mean, I'd rather be doing a game, but it's fun to be able to do that every once in a while. All right, anyway, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. I'm telling you guys, have you ever thought it'd be cool to get an autograph from Ross? I'll send you a signed press pass or autograph picture or card as long as you get one of these amazing front cover of a newspaper keepsake from myfrontpagestory.com. Backofficeschedule.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing.